Southeast on the track.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Sound like I was singing for a second. I'm not trying to sing. Yo, it's good to see y'all in the building, man. Make sure you like the stream on your way in. Yo, I hope that y'all have had a magnificent week thus far. Make sure we like the stream on the way in. We're back for a special daytime edition of the Truth Seekers podcast. Can we get a round of applause? I appreciate you for being here. Once again, make sure that you like the stream on the way in. We got some important things to talk about. We're going to get a little political. We're going to get a little blackmail bashing. We're going to get a little, other side bashing as well. Listen, we're going to have a little bit of it all for you today. I want to make sure this is a balanced episode for everybody watching today. But it's going to be pretty interesting because we're going to get political as well. Having said that, let's go ahead and dive right into the important, the most important time of the day, which is the national day today. It's World Candle Month. If you didn't know that, today's holiday is also Actors Day. Actors Day is today. If you're an actor, then they celebrate how actors make us feel when they play certain roles. Are You Okay Day? This is pretty much, this is a pretty, I think important day. It says, Are You Okay Day is an annual observation in Australia celebrated on the second Thursday of every September. This year, it falls up September 8th. On this day, Australians check up on each other, especially those who are going through a tough time. Well, I wonder if they just check up. Was it one time a year you check up on somebody? That's pretty bad, Australia. So we might not celebrate that. It's International Literacy Day. Good shout out to people that can read and understand and comprehend. It's National Ampersand Day. That's celebrated on the 8th of each year to honor Latin character and logogram. Not sure what that is. National David Day. Was it? If your name is David, then today is your day. Congratulations. All right. So those are the national days today. Before we dive into crucial news stories in the mass shooting that happened in Memphis, I want to read a couple more news articles. This happened, and this is kind of doing with the migration and the immigration and politics that's going on right now. But free bus rides for migrants to Washington, New York, and Chicago begin in Texas border town Del Rio. Just past 1:30 p.m. on Monday, 2 white and green striped U.S. Border Patrol vans pulled up outside of Valverde Humanitarian Coalition, a migrant respite center, and 19 asylum seekers spilled out on sunlit days and were speckled with dry mud. One woman carried an infant on her hip. All looked exhausted. Well, pretty much what this article is saying is that free bus rides is an option put on the table. So what's going on right now is there's a lot of immigrants that are coming to Texas, and what they're trying to do to let Democrats know that the political infrastructure is very severe right now is that the social and the actual geographical infrastructure, the jobs, and it's so severe in these smaller towns that are getting hit with a lot of immigrants that Texas is having to bus out immigrants to New York and bus out immigrants to other sanctuary states that are approved sanctuary states. But those sanctuary states are having a hard time keeping up with the infrastructure needed to take care of so many immigrants. And so it's a big, interesting story right now. But I just want to bring that over to you. We have another story before we talk about the mass shooting in Memphis. And Fannie I believe her name is Fannie. Oh Jesus, I forget her name. She's the DA, Fannie Willis. All right, we're going to talk about Fannie Willis also. This is Fannie Willis, who's going after President Trump right now, which is an interesting little case and turn of events. But just hang on for a second before we get to there. If you're here for Fannie Willis, it's going to take about 20 minutes before we can get there. Okay. This is a white man who appears got in George Floyd, for a lack of a better term, and I hate to say that, he died after a cop kneeled on his neck for 14 minutes. Now his family can finally sue. Civil rights attorneys say that the Fifth Circuit of Appeals, which appears from federal courts in Texas, Mississippi, and Louisiana, is where righteous police misconduct cases go to die. Okay. Earlier this month, the Fifth Circuit issued a decision, Tempa v. Dillard, that offers renewed hope that people whose constitutional rights have been violated can get justice in court. Tony Tempa called the police to ask for help. 32-year-old white college-educated executive was off medication he usually took for anxiety and schizophrenia, as he told the police dispatcher. Sorry, I can't read today. It's morning. But when the 5 Dallas police officers, I didn't know it took place in Dallas, geez. When the 5 Dallas police officers arrived on the scene of the road where Tempa was, they did not give him the help he needed. Instead, they handcuffed him behind his back, zip-tied his feet, and Officer Dustin Dillard put his knee and body weight on Tempa's back. The officer's body camera recorded Tempa crying for help, pleading with them, saying, "You're going to kill me," over and over again. After 9 minutes under Officer Dillard's knee, Tempa stopped moving. After 11 minutes, Tempa went limp, then silent. The officers joked and laughed that Tempa had fallen asleep. All of this was caught on the officer's body camera. They had been trained that keeping someone in the prone position under an officer's body weight was dangerous. But Dillard kneeled on Tempa for more than 14 minutes. When the ambulance arrived, Dillard could be heard in the body camera saying, "I hope I didn't kill him." More laughter. Once Tempa was in the ambulance, paramedics announced that he wasn't breathing and performed CPR. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Tempa's family sued in July 2020, just 5 weeks after George Floyd was murdered under the knee of Derek Chauvin. A judge in Texas granted qualified immunity to the officers who killed Tempa in almost the exact same way. Why did this case not get any coverage? Why did you not hear about this? The news just said it was 5 weeks after George Floyd had been murdered. We're talking about Black Lives Matter today a little bit. Black Lives Matter activist has recently actually been accused of stealing more than $10 million in donors fund. Now, this is an executive activist, right? Now, organizers allege in a lawsuit that Shalomoya Boyers put the organization's finances in his, quote, personal piggy bank. That's him right there. For our video people watching, for everybody watching, make sure you like on the way in. He put that money in his piggy bank right there. All right. That is Shalomoya Boyers in Atlanta. This is May 13th. That picture was taken. Black Lives Matter Grassroots is suing an executive Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation for allegedly stealing $10 million in donations. In the lawsuit filed last week in Los Angeles, California, go figure, Black Lives Matter Grassroots accuses Shalomoya Boyers, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, a leader of the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation and his Bowers consulting firm of siphoning, quote, millions of dollars from the group into his own, quote, personal piggy bank. The suit also alleges that these actions triggered investigations by state and federal agencies, including the IRS, which they claim blazed, quote, a path of irreparable harm to BLM in less than 18 months, end quote. The suit also alleges that Bowers, who was hired by Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrisse Cullors to help run GNF and execute its hand over to Black Lives Matter Grassroots, that's an interesting choice of words, did not follow the transition plan that Cullors set up. Enough is enough, said Black Lives Matter's Grassroots attorney Walter Mosley on a phone call to NBC News. The organization can't effectively organize and continue to do the work that it historically has done without its tools and resources. So Black Lives Matter is somewhat in a disarray right now. As we kind of go into this story, I had one more story. Parents and residents right now, this is interesting right here. I'm sure you like the video. Parents and residents are suing to place all Lives Matter or Blue Lives Matter posters in school. Group petitions judged to either bar Black Lives Matter posters from Minnesota school districts or make space for those bearing messages that represent additional viewpoints. A group of parents and residents are suing the Lakeville area school district. Let me tell y'all something, people. Some people are about that action. They're suing the school district. All right. Hey, I don't know too many of us are suing the school district. are suing the Lakeville area school district in Minnesota over the distribution of Black Lives Matter posters in schools. The Star Tribune is reporting that the plaintiffs in the federal suit include locals Kaylin Aker, Bob and Cynthia Cajun, and several others who filed anonymously. So Kaylin and Bob and Cynthia just don't give a F. Several plaintiffs chose to remain anonymous for fear of the reprisals, from Black Lives Matter activists. So retribution or revenge in some instances. The lawsuit alleges that Black Lives Matter advocates, oh my God, have blocked the complainants from entering school board meetings. Okay. Don't worry, we can read. Is this important? Okay. According to Yahoo, some of the plaintiffs initially sued in August 2021 in the U.S. District Court, claiming the district violated their free speech rights and civil rights by not allowing, quote, all lives matter, quote, and, quote, blue lives matter, quote, messages to be prominently displayed on school campuses. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of fair in a way. You know, we always hear that Black people can't be racist, but in a way that is kind of racist if we're like, nah, we can't put white lives matter or blue lives matter, especially once again, if we're going to be, promoting calling the police, which is why I'm going to be actually talking about Miss Fannie Willis here in a little bit. And the fact that she's the main DA that's going after President Trump and his allies right now. I don't understand how you can be going against the side that's has more of the policies that fit the criteria of what you represent or want to represent in the society. I don't understand that, but you know what? I'm not a college graduate, so what do I know? Make sure you're liking the video on the way in, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and dive into this. So in Memphis, over the weekend, or I'm sorry, maybe this is a couple days ago, there was a shooting. All right. And this shooting was covered on Fox News, but the shooting was done by a young man named Ezekiel Kelly. This is him right here. This is a suspect identified as Ezekiel Kelly, 19 years old, had been previously charged for 2020 attempts, including first-degree murder and aggravated assault, employing a firearm with the intent to commit a felony, and reckless endangerment. So our perpetrator here that you see in the thumbnail had a first-degree murder charge, an aggravated assault charge, employing a firearm with the intent to commit a felony, and reckless endangerment. And here's the picture of the guns and the money. He called himself Zeke Huncho, as you see appropriately there, right? Posted right on Facebook publicly, might I add, just like my profile was. So, hey, what can I say? I guess we're both the dummy in that instance. If we scroll up, this is another picture of him. And this platform, this Twitter profile is Platform for BW and Elite hashtag. This is at BWE_hub that posted this 5 hours ago. So on Twitter, at BWE hub posted this. Make sure you follow them on Twitter if you're a Twitter user. For a while now, at Black Manosphere, I didn't even know the Black Manosphere had a Twitter. Okay, this is exposing the okay. I have been for a while now at Black Manosphere and I, so this is a combination right here, a tag team, have been warning everyone about the dangers of Black men incels, and now everyone has to face the reality. We've talked a little bit about the Black male incels and the male incels and white male incels and all incels and things like that on this channel. I didn't know, and I don't know if this guy is an incel. So I got to be careful with that terminology going back and forth here, but assuming that he is, I guess. I didn't see anything in these posts, but she goes on to say, this is Ezekiel Kelly, 19, a Black male incel who went around shooting innocent people. She has a couple of the pictures here with him and the quotes that he had. Apparently, one of the quotes says, "Don't go around glorifying shooting at niggas. Then when yours gets shot, y'all want to cry. You niggas B words, get out the streets." Well, you know, hey, I don't know. I kind of I kind of agree with that. I be on some F the world type ish. That's not good. That's definitely not good. On Crip, Zeke Huncho wanted to mention that he put. My homeboys, did he share? Oh, okay. No, I'm about to say, did he share his own post? That's legendary. If he shared his own post on Crip, he shared his own post. My homeboys turning into bitches as another Facebook post that he has. Excuse the language, ladies and gentlemen. If you have children listening, I'm sorry. I'll go ahead and clean it up. That'll be the last curse word of the stream. I'll be cleaning it up for the rest of my live streams. I need to clean my life up. Okay, go to gotserum.com if you want to, be clean as me. Okay. My homegirls, it goes on to say, my homeboys turning into B words. My homegirls should carry my casket. That's just really an interesting thing to say. What did you say? His last quote goes to say, death come unexpected. You can't choose a date. I mean, two of those quotes I kind of agree with. The first and the last quote. I mean, you really can't choose a date. But it sounds like he had a pretty serious agenda going on. And that's what Black Woman Empowerment _hub or BWE _hub on Twitter was saying. Now, let's go ahead and dig into a little bit more of this and see just how interesting this gets. Once again, Twitter is fascinatingly interesting. This is another picture of him, and this is the picture that you might see floating around quite often. And he looks like he's definitely, if you wouldn't know that he was responsible for a mass shooting prior of killing 4 random people, apparently, and shooting, I think, more than 13 or 13, I think the number is right now. We'll look that up. Then you would assume that he's somewhat of a nice guy, perhaps. I don't know. There's a few more incidences on Twitter going around. There's some videos there, but I can't scroll too much because Twitter is graphic, but it looks like they're getting a little bit more, held back now at this point. There's a video that we're going to go ahead and watch, and I'm going to start this from the very beginning. It's by Fox News. We're going to watch this entire video because it is extremely interesting, and he's seeing kind of how they plan on. Hey, everyone, it's good to see you on the picture. You said, "Kid, those people at the White House." I feel you. Oh, yeah, I'm on early right now, but I think we'll be on later tonight, too. I'm going to try and start doing news in the morning and then other stuff at night. Every picture I see of him, he is cheesing hard, said Seeking Him Daily. That's crazy. Did you see that politician's racist post? Well, Easier for Meg, it's definitely interesting right now. It's definitely, I didn't see the interesting post you're talking about. Or maybe it's the video we're getting ready to watch. We'll check it out. Estrella says, get those people out of the White House. Estrella, who are those people that you're talking about? The Democrats? Oh, if you're talking about the Democrats, well, I'll have to agree with you there. Now, let's go ahead and watch this video for really quickly because it is pretty, whew. And I've said this before. I said that the next crime bill that they pass is going to be a serious crime bill. I said that on my community post tab probably 2 or 3 months ago. We'll go check it in a second. But I did say that, and I think that it's getting closer to that point, much closer to that point. Just watch this video by Fox News. We're going to review this and get ready.
All right, that's the fun stuff. This isn't. The suspected gunman accused of live streaming a deadly shooting spree in Memphis is in police custody this morning after a day-long manhunt.
The rampage comes just days after police found the body of billionaire heiress and missing mom Eliza Fletcher, and as they hunt for another kidnapping suspect.
That's right. Griff Jenkins, who knows Memphis very well, is here to give us all the details on this Thursday morning. Griff.
Yeah, good morning, Steve, Carly, and Brian. Look, it's been a terrifying 24 hours as Memphians were told to shelter in place across the city as 19-year-old Ezekiel Kelly carried out these serial shootings that left 4 dead and 3 injured across 8.
He is smiling and everything.
Scenes. It ended in a high-speed crash after he crashed the car that he had carjacked. And the worst part of it all, he should have been behind bars, not out on the street carrying out this violent rampage. Now, here's what we know about Kelly's past. In 2020, he was charged with first-degree attempted murder, aggravated assault, employment of a firearm with intent to commit a dangerous felony, and reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon. He was sentenced to 3 years, but only served 11 months after his attempted murder charge was downgraded to aggravated assault, and he was released in March of this year.
All right. So the reason that all that happened was because he was 17, I think, at the time of all these charges. I don't know if they ever go to mention that, but just keep that in mind. He was 17 at the time. And apparently, if you're not 18, you can pretty much do whatever and have no kind of charge short of killing somebody, which he attempted to kill somebody. So I don't know at this point. This is progressive justice right here, aka the democratic justice system, though, at hand. Just keep that in mind. They let him out after 11 months of these charges. All right.
Memphis Mayor Jim Strickland had this reaction.
If Mr. Kelly served his full 3-year sentence, he would still be in prison today, and 4 of our fellow citizens would still be alive.
This just a day after the discovery of the body of Memphis mother and heiress Eliza Fletcher. Suspect Cleotha Henderson due back in court today facing first-degree murder charges. He, like Kelly, had a long rap sheet. Look here. Between 1995 and 2000, arrested 16 times. Age 11, arrested for theft.
Bruh.
Age 14, convicted of...
Bro, what? I don't get how people are like, oh, it's the... I said he served 20 years. So, hey.
Rape. Age 16, abducted a lawyer at gunpoint and served 20 years of a 24-year kidnapping sentence. Meanwhile, tomorrow morning at 4 a.m., fellow runners of Eliza will meet to run in her honor as they remember the kind mother and teacher that she was.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
And as you mentioned, Carly, police are still looking for a second suspect.
Bruh, I don't know if y'all can tell the trend right now. I don't know if I need to maybe point it out, but you can kind of see a trend right now that's going on. It's now I know that the media is controlled by certain agendas and certain things, and I get that, you know. But there's definitely an agenda that's making and made to really shatter and tear apart the Black Lives Matter movement by putting the reality of the criminality of black men out to Front Street, right? Like that movement is pretty much starting right now on Fox News, mainstream, like the old school crime bill, menaces of society type of deal. Yeah, we're getting ready to go into that era right now, for sure. They're getting ready to turn it up on black men. It's going mainstream now, for sure. The passport bros aren't gonna, really help the effort, but the manosphere thing's going down and everything right now with the rising of that, the Frank James Souter situation, all this other stuff. They're getting ready to really put the image back out of black men are the worst of society. Black men are and I'll be frank in the situations. You know what I mean? When you see stories like that, when you hear about things like that, I mean, let's be honest, right? Let's be honest. Like, put yourselves, dude. Put yourselves in a white dude's shoes, right? Your wife. Now, this might be a hit. I don't know, because she was a billionaire heiress. So this might be a hit. All right. I don't know. We don't know what's going on. She was like the granddaughter of billionaires. So, but like, imagine that you're here, right? And you're seeing story after story after story of these black guys, right? Killing white women, killing women that look like your daughters, killing whatever. And you really don't even really you didn't have a racist bone in your body, or maybe you weren't even that racist. Like, I've seen how influential the media can be for so many people. I mean, most people are sheep, but once you can actually see and confirm that there is some sort of actual, like, pattern going on, or once the media start to perpetrate some kind of pattern that's going on, like, it's pretty much over. Like, okay, look at the Trump situation, right? Everybody thinks that Trump, let me go ahead and play. Do I have my little Trump screen? Shout out to Trump. Everybody thinks that Trump, is just like horrible. And, he's got these government secrets. Trump got the nuclear secrets, right? He's got the things that's going to take everybody down, and he's betrayed America and this, and that. I've already said it. There's no nuclear secrets. There's no secrets like that anymore, y'all. Those are Cold War terms. There's no secrets that the United States has on any of the countries. Everybody knows everything about each other because people just put it right on Twitter. All right. We can watch war in lifetime. You can watch a live stream on war. I just watched a war video on YouTube, actually. Right. But the media can make somebody seem like they did for so long, like they're just this demonic, horrible, evil person. Right. They're very good at that. Now, when you start to couple the fact that they're really good at spinning narratives, but also the narrative does have a lot of validity in it as well, then you have a pretty serious, message, or you pretty serious change of thought that could potentially happen. And they're kind of bringing the reality of Black Lives Matter and the corruption that's going on in that movement to the forefront, right? Simultaneously bringing the reality of the black men who have been protected by the Black Lives Matter movement, right, to the forefront as well. Right. So let's go ahead and continue on in this video here, because that's not even really the interesting part. The interesting part is when they start to have the panel and they start speaking. That's when it gets pretty interesting. That's when I was like, oh, okay, I see. All right. Streaming out just slow. Sorry, y'all.
Suspect in the kidnapping of a mother and her one-year-old young son outside of a Target store. Now, the one suspect you're looking at here, Will Hayes, he's in custody. The other accomplice they're looking for is at large. The mother and one-year-old were released. But I can't stress enough, Steve, Carly, and Brian, how much this has this city, a sleeping city down on the Mississippi River in the south, as it on edge. People are reaching out to me left and right saying they're terrified. They've never seen anything like this.
Right. And the thing about it, and you know, there's been a spate of murders in Memphis of late, and the kidnapping, which we've been profiling over the last couple of days. But Griff, it seems like this guy who's now in custody, 19-year-old Ezekiel Kelly, it seems like he did just some random things in the beginning, didn't really get a lot of attention for his crime spree, where he wound up, you know, as you said, 8 separate shootings, 4 dead, 3 injured. Didn't really get a lot of attention until suddenly somebody called the cops around 6 o'clock last night and said, hey, there's a guy live streaming on Facebook from the AutoZone, and he says he's going to kill people.
And, you know, let me just tell you also, in the hearing when Cleotha Henderson is back in court, I have a handful of friends that are concerned about this that will be in court again today. They were there yesterday and the day before because they're upset about the fact that these criminals keep getting out. Let me
these criminals
just read to you. A friend who I knew well in high school sent me this, saying, Griff, how many people do you know that can say my friend's niece, that's Eliza, was abducted while jogging and murdered? My neighbor's son was murdered. My son's best friend was held up at gunpoint in his own driveway. A mom from our school was followed home.
Now, keep in mind that while he's talking, you're under the assumption that all these perpetrators were black, right? Because all the people that you've seen so far on the news station and on the media channel so far have been black. So everything that you're hearing right now is from black men, right? So he's pretty much saying, how can we feel safe when we have black men, in a way, not necessarily coming out and saying that, but in a way, y'all, that's exactly what he's saying. And that's what they're saying. But don't worry, they'll say it for themselves, right? So now the message that a lot of people in the black community have been saying, right, which is that they're trying to separate from certain aspects of the black community, from certain demons in the black community, is being reverberated mainstream. However, it might not be reverberated as accurately as we wanted it to be. Right? Let's continue.
Just read to you. A friend, neighbor's son was murdered. My son's best friend was held up at gunpoint in his own driveway. A mom from our school was followed home and raped in her own home in front of her son. And I can't even tell you how many carjackings have happened to friends I know. This is not Chicago. This is not New York. This is a small bluff city where the Memphians have much pride. We have the best barbecue, as we brought to you guys on Cooking with Friends, Rendezvous Ribs, and we're the home of Elvis and BB King and Beale Street. This just doesn't happen there.
But
and
Griff,
right now, they feel the officials are not doing enough.
Don't they have a problem hiring cops?
Well, it's widespread. The complaints. It's not just the policing, and you see Memphis police trying to take a proactive approach to this, but it's also the sentencing. They want this thing called truth in sentencing, which is to hold criminals accountable and hold them in jail for the crimes they committed. Not in the case of Ezekiel Kelly, who had his murder charge downgraded to aggravated assault, and that is why he was able to be out for 24 hours live streaming this rampage.
Absolutely right. All right, Griff, thanks very much. Because it was in 2020, he was charged with first-degree murder and reckless endangerment. He was sentenced to 3 years, but he only served 11 months. And the mayor's absolutely right.
Now, you know why he only served 11 months? He only served 11 months because Black Lives Matter was at the height at around 11 months ago. So that's why he served 11 months. Right. It was a lot easier. Life of Grandmaster Troll in the building. Shout out to Grandmaster Troll in the building. He said it's BMs. He only served 11 months because that's when everybody was going crazy because of George Floyd. Right. So now they're going to end up using Black Lives Matter against them essentially right now. But we'll continue on for a second. I'm going to keep myself on the screen too.
Had that guy been serving the full sentence, and we don't know why he was released early, probably because he was younger. And there are a lot of cities that
I think you want to say probably because he was black.
are soft on
I feel like you want to say probably because he was black, younger. A minor. You're a news reporter. The word is minor. Probably because he was a minor. He was 17.
right. Had that guy been serving the full sentence, and we don't know why he was released early, probably because he was younger. And
He stuttered before he said it. He broke train of thought.
full sentence, and we don't know why he was released early, probably because he was younger. And there are a lot of cities that are soft on crime, but that guy would
And there are a lot of cities that are soft on crime, which soft on, okay, read them between the lines. Oh, hey, but listen, Fox News, the good people of America support this message. It's going to be a serious message, though.
would not have been out on the street to commit this string of carjackings. And we need to point out, he not only murdered people, but Griff just mentioned the carjackings. I think he carjacked 3 or 4 different cars, and he killed a couple of people, and he walked up to somebody who's just sitting in a car and murdered them in their car.
And in 2020, he was 17 years old. He was charged as an adult for, like you said, attempted murder. Even if he was given the full
Look at the dude on the right, bro. He's heated.
if he served the full 3 years, I still think that's a slap on the wrist.
Attempted
Yes,
murder.
But
yeah.
the
3 years.
mayor is right when he says that if he was still behind bars, none of this would have happened. And that's exactly what repeat story with the mom, Eliza Fletcher.
Repeat story. It's a repeat story. Black men. Every time we see these black men, repeat story. How many times? Getting tired of it.
Who the suspect there was sentenced to 20 years in prison, or 24 years in prison, served 20 years, got out in the year 2020. And if he was still behind bars, and he could have been if he served his full time, she would still be alive.
Yeah,
today.
they don't want to get along in society. They want to destroy society.
Woo! Oh shit! Hold on. Who's that? Brian Skelter? Hold on, Jim. Hold on. Let's give this man the front stage. Let me take myself off the screen for a second. Woo! My man said, "Fuck it. You can fire me if you want to. I done made enough money at Fox." Sorry about the language.
Got out in the year 2020, and
Look at his eyes, though. God, hey, I feel you, bro. Bro, if somebody did that to my,
if
I
he
feel
was
you. But dang, I'm not even white. Man,
still behind bars, and he could have been if he served his full time, she would
Deserve to be.
alive
Yeah,
today.
they don't want to get along in society. They want to destroy society. They deserve to be locked up.
damn.
We got to stop giving people that don't even want a second chance because they use it as a chance to commit more crimes.
Okay, now they're saying people, y'all. You know what he means. We got to stop giving people a second chance. The only people I've seen as perpetrator in these videos are all black men.
People that don't even want a second chance because they use it as a chance to commit more crimes and ruin more lives.
Damn.
Senator Tom Cotton sees this pattern.
Yeah, you thought it was bad before? Wait till Tom Cotton. My nigga Tom Cotton is here for y'all now. They done found Tom Cotton on y'all. Woo!
It's another horrifying string of crimes in Memphis. People of
Just my man's name alone. You better respect Tom Cotton, damn it.
Memphis deserve much better than what they've gotten from their city government in just the last few days. You've seen these crimes. So that's reflective of crime going back in Memphis for a long time. It's reflective of crime in big cities across America. We got to this point in
Come on now. I done never seen them do this with the white. Hey, I never seen them do this with the white perpetrator. I'll be honest. But listen, I'm here for it.
part because of failures of the left across America to treat criminals as the criminals they are. Killers like the one we see tonight are depraved sociopaths. They need to be locked up or they need to be executed.
Y'all gonna listen to THT sooner or later. Yeah, can you call in? You can call in. Hey, if you want to call into the shows right now, call into the show. Y'all are gonna listen to me sooner or later. I put on my community tab. The next crime bill. I'm about to pull it up right now because I pulled it up 2 streams ago. Didn't I say the next crime bill that they put is going to be serious, man, he's telling you right now, they need to be locked up or executed. Who is they?
Across America.
Who do you mean they? Who's the guy smiling right beside him? Boy, criminals, my black brethren, heed my warnings, heed my cry. If you don't straighten up, boy, it's about to get real, especially in Republican states. Good old Texas. Listen, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I'm gonna call the police, like I said in my song before I end up popping. I'll be honest. But they're not gonna, man, they just lock you away or pop you themselves.
Treat criminals as the criminals they are. Killers like the one we see tonight are depraved sociopaths. They need to be locked up or they need to be executed. That's the way to keep our citizens safe from these criminals.
And this has got to be a major political issue. If you don't bring this up and you're running for any significant office, that is criminal. Number two, I think the other thing to follow up on is the fact that this guy,
he's even a little stunned. He was like, damn, that was pretty far. He was like, I was trying to take it there, but he took it way farther than I could take it.
when he was in the police car, there's pictures of him smiling. He was having a great time. You understand, there's people in this world that don't warrant sympathy and empathy. That is one of them. And you got to start.
So when he's saying there are people in this world that don't warrant sympathy and empathy, that's a strategic plan to pretty much go directly at Black Lives Matter, right? It's saying, okay, Black Lives Matter has built this sympathetic flag for black men. Black Lives Matter has built this sympathetic movement for black men, but there are black men who don't deserve sympathy and empathy. Black men don't deserve sympathy and empathy. That's kind of a really indirect way of going about it, but you got to understand on the media and on like a national, international digitized platform, they're very strategic with how they go about things and attack things. So you're going to see more articles about Black Lives Matter going down, bad things happening about Black Lives Matter. We'll continue on with this video as I search for my what's it called? The post that I made on the community tab. Just give me 1 second. And we have Hybrid in the studio. Hybrid, welcome to the studio, Hybrid. What did you have to say, or what did you think on this matter at hand?
Hey, Truth, I just wanted to say you are on fire with this stream right here. The first thing I want to say is this ain't Chicago. We have to hashtag that.
This ain't Chicago.
This ain't Chicago.
That's a fact. You're right. No, absolutely. You're absolutely right. It's so true. They're not going for it anymore. And I don't know why in some of the Democratic cities, like the Chicago's, LA, or some of the Democratic states, I don't know why they just don't admit that they have a problem. You know, it's kind of like they just continue to sweep things under the rug. But yeah, the politicians in certain states and areas, y'all, they're not going for it anymore. All right. They're putting it right in front of your face, how they feel, what they feel, why they feel it, and what they're going to do about it if it doesn't change and shape up. And they have the power to do so if Republicans win the office in 2024, which they're going to because of Joe Biden. If everything is fair and, you know, and just in a mail-in voting ballot system, which we'll get to talking about that in one system, because we're getting ready to talk about the mail-in voting ballot fraud that's allegedly being claimed by, you know, I cannot remember the sweet, pretty lady's name, Willie, the DA of Savannah, Georgia. All right. We'll get to Fannie Willis. All right. We're getting ready to talk about voter fraud because she's investigating former President Donald Trump and his allies for voter fraud. Why is Fannie Willis the only local district attorney in the U.S. investigating former President Trump for tampering with the vote? We'll get this. Fannie Willis is also the one that literally is locking everybody up in Atlanta right now. She's the one that locked Young Thug up. She's the one that locked all these rappers up. Before I let you go really quickly, hold on 1 second. Before I let you go, we got to play this video by Fannie Willis, because I don't, and this is why I don't understand the democratic system really quick. The democratic system, because it just doesn't make that much sense when you observe things. So check this out, right? This is the district attorney, Fannie Willis, who's trying to prosecute President Donald Trump, for voter fraud. This is how she feels.
Just this month.
Sorry about the right ear volume. It's terrible.
We are aware that crimes have occurred in other jurisdictions, but what this indictment primarily covers are the 16 crimes that committed here in Fulton County. The victims They do not discriminate. But what they did do is target people who show their wealth on social media. So I do have a message for the public where it is kind of fun to put your things on social media and show off. Unfortunately, these gangs are becoming more savvy, more sophisticated in the way that they target you. And this is a way that we know that they targeted these individuals. And it's because of these great detectives' work where they were able to show that they were following these individuals and using it to their advantage. Some of the celebrity victims included Calvin Ridley, who is a loved member of our famous, but also had their wealth on social media. Lots of social media influencers. The incidences that are in here is, thank God we don't have a murder, but we have kidnapping, we have armed robberies, we have shootings, and we have home invasions, very violent crimes, things that cannot be allowed in our county, and all done again at the hands of crime, at the hands of gangs.
All done again at the hands of gangs. Who are these gangs? They're not white gangs that we know of, right? So she's getting ready to really even stomp down on gangs, but going after Republicans who, if you didn't know, Tom Cotton, the guy who you just got done speaking about, saying, well, if we can't just find a way for all these, criminals, we'll just end up killing them, right? Or not really. He said we'll either put them in jail or execute them. The Republican Party agrees with you, Fannie Willis. So why would you be the only DA that's trying to prosecute President Trump right now? I don't understand that. I don't understand a lot of the things that the Democrats do. President Trump is a Republican. Tom Cotton's a Republican. They're harder and they're tougher on crime. The Democrats aren't really tougher on crime. Having said that, it's not that I necessarily am against what she's doing. I applaud it, but why would you be the sole person going after President Trump then? If you're the sole person that's literally radicalizing the entire county and state of Georgia. That's kind of a conflict of interest to me. Hybrid, I'm sorry. We're gonna go back to the case here with our good friend. StreamYards is kind of slow, but it's okay. We're gonna make it work. Now, going back to our good friend here, because I had to take a little detour. It's obvious and apparent, even from our own politicians, except for that Mayor Lightfoot, Lori Lightfoot in Chicago, except for her, she's kind of out of there, yo. Did you go over the shoes being planted? What shoes being planted? The Nike bus? I don't know. Singing Daily says, I was about to say, now is the time for safe black men to start warning Pookie and Ray Ray about their coming due for their antics. Last call. Hey, it's the last call. You're right about that. It is the last call for sure. Oh, yeah. People, they thought the crime was bad before. New York is thinking about bringing back stop and frisk. They're like, okay, we got to go ahead and change some things around. It's getting too crazy. What we know about the 19-year-old Ezekiel, did we play this entire video? Let me see if we played this entire video.
Judging these criminals
That's
by your standards. Look at that shot. He would have killed more had he not been.
Live streamed it on Facebook. He was bragging about it on Facebook. Right. I mean, we're clearly dealing with a very sick individual who yesterday spent an entire day murdering people. This is really a huge and horrifying situation because he paralyzed an entire city. Not at all. The public bus service was suspended. A minor league baseball stadium with a game underway was placed on lockdown. There are 2 college campuses in the area, University of Memphis and Rhodes College, both placed on lockdown. Yeah. And like you said, he recorded it all on Facebook. Now his Facebook profile apparently has been removed, but there's some reporting that there was already violent posts on it concerning things that he was saying. And so many times when these crimes happened, they are so predictable.
Right. But this guy.
They're so predictable. Damn. What does that mean? What does it mean it's predictable? Does that mean that there was evidence beforehand, aforementioned? Does that mean that we need to start taking the word that people say more seriously online? Does that mean that it's a certain type of predictable group of people in society? All right. What does that mean? A lot of different things. StreamYard's killing me.
Had a violent criminal past. And what's different about him is, and murders sadly happen every day. What happened yesterday in Memphis happens all across the country when it comes to carjackings and murders and people getting held up at ATMs and stuff like that. But
who are the main people that you see holding people up at ATMs on the news and stuff? Carjackings. Even the word carjack has like a black undertone to it. You know what I mean? Carjacking.
What's different about this, and maybe it explains why the guy's smiling. I mean, he live streamed it, as you pointed out. He wasn't just going to commit, robberies and carjackings. It was essentially performance. He showed people on Facebook what he was doing. And while he was live streaming, and we don't have the live stream, I'll just tell you that. While he was live streaming the attack, he can be seen getting out of the car, then walking a few steps into the auto zone. He pulled out a gun, fired at a man inside the shop twice. But just before he walked into the store, he's looking at the camera and he's saying, this is no faking. This is real blank. This is going to be real.
Yeah.
And somebody apparently in the Memphis area was watching and called the cops, and they were able to identify him generally and identify the car, which gave chase. Then he got out of that car, carjacked another car, a Dodge Challenger, and that's the one he wound up crashing into something when the cops were chasing
I know.
him.
And can I just say, this whole crime spree started,
Crazy.
apparently, there's some reporting that it started at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
So almost Tuesday. And then the first time that police issued a public service alert was at 6 p.m. after that person saw the live stream on
Right.
Facebook. And I'm wondering why it took police so long to connect the dots. It could be because there is so much violent crime
Right.
going on in Memphis right now that
It's
they
Memphis is primarily black.
didn't realize it's just another Wednesday.
Another-
They didn't
Damn, it's just another Wednesday in Memphis. Jesus. Fox is now holding back.
realize that all of these crimes were connected.
Not enough cops, not enough follow-up, and there's no punishment. So cops aren't motivated to arrest somebody that's going to be out shortly again. Put their lives on the line dealing with that. Mutants, you got
Oh, woo, woo, woo. The Nike bus. He looks exactly like a gremlin. No, he really does. He does look like a mutant, in all fairness. He does. That's crazy. That mutant.
you got to be kidding me.
Dang.
That's sadly was something we're going to be reporting a little bit later on. Story in the New York Post today. A woman with a machete just whacking a guy in the head, fractured his skull. And they go, yeah, we arrested her a few days ago with the same machete.
Yeah.
Gets out again. Doesn't even spend a minute in jail.
Yeah, and there is a cop shortage in Memphis, and crime is up over 7% this year from the year.
Poor Karen Jean-Pierre. She's having a hard time.
Of Texas. He's suggested that you come down and see for yourself whether migrants are actually crossing the border by foot.
So I've been to the border. One thing I will say is I certainly don't need lectures or invitations from Republicans about the border or border policies. I'll use this opportunity to invite him or anyone else next time to vote for record funding for DHS.
See what's going on. They're live right now.
To see the trend that we have been seeing with gas prices, right? 86 days they've been trending down, and so we're encouraged by that. It's been work that, again, his leadership from the Strategic Petroleum and making sure that we tap that historic tapping of the Strategic Petroleum of 1 million a day for the last several months that has helped. It's the ethanol 15 that he made a decision on to make that available during the summer, which is not a regular time to make that available. He took bold actions, and now we're seeing that effect. So look, we're going to continue to take to look at all options. We're going to continue to make sure we keep costs down for.
Man, she's got a lot on her plate. She has a lot on her plate. I tell you what. She's essentially like kind of not a president, but dang near a presidential figure, because she has to translate what the president would answer. Since President Joe Biden doesn't ever speak, she has to take the questions that they would give to President Biden and then interpret them in a way that President Biden would respond, or at least represent somewhat of a semblance of a response to the president. She in a way is like I don't know. I'd consider her like kind of the maybe first black woman president. Karine Jean-Pierre. Karine Jean-Pierre. Karine Jean-Pierre. Anyways, I'm gonna kind of look at the rest of these articles we have here. We have a news article at the top here. Let me change this to full screen. My bad. News article at the top here. Suspect in shooting rampage across city is obviously in police custody. Well, there's pretty much nothing that we need right there. Let me see if there's something on the other article really quickly. Make sure you like the video, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to wrap this one up soon. Just want to bring you some news really quickly. No, I don't think so. Oh, well, I guess the Danny. Well, we talked about Fannie Willis, so we're kind of okay there. Anyways, what do you think? What do you think? How did you feel about the undertones, or were they overtones? I don't know. It's interesting, but I think times are definitely changing. I was supposed to look at my community post and prove to you that I said that a few months ago. I did. Just take my word for it. Blue Lives Matter is a fallacy. Oh my goodness. I don't know your job unless you tell me you have an idea of my race by looking at me. D, I don't know, D. D, I think it's the same D from a long time ago. It's good to see you, D, if it's you from a long time ago. I don't know, D. I don't know. All right, y'all. We're gonna wrap this up. Hey, make sure you leave a like once again. Go to gotserum.com. Check it out, gotserum.com. We'll be back soon, probably tonight. If not tonight, then tomorrow. Got a lot more to talk about. I love you. Take care. Take it easy. And have everyone take you down. But good night, everybody. Good night. Or good day. I'll say good night tonight if I come live. I love you. Hold on. I fucked it up. I took it down. There we go. Yes, come tonight. It's going to be fun. Good vibes.
Eyes always on the track.
Bye, Betty Gal. See you soon, hon.